we end up getting a call. Door opens. I walk up the stairs. Door opens. 3 women come, like, rush out of the door covered in blood. So we get them to safety. There ends up being an old man and a teenage boy in the house still. There's somebody inside who could be injured. The suspect supposedly has a gun. An officer in the back goes, "Hey, we see the suspect hitting an old man in the head with a computer." I look at a sergeant and I go, "Hey, we're going in." And he's like, wait. And I go, "No, my partner's in the front with a shield," and I boot the door, and we all run in. We make entry. The older man's laying in like a puddle of like gelatinous blood coming from his head. We get medics in. They take him. The officer calls me and she's like, "Yeah, medics say he's not going to make it."
Dude, I'm just stoked that you came on. It's been cool watching you guys building the whole building and making your announcements on Instagram, and then being able to follow along. You guys ordering all the equipment and all that. It's been a cool process to watch. Not a lot of people document the whole thing from start to finish. So I know there's a heck of a lot more behind the scenes that we don't see, and stresses and stuff like that. And people be like, "Oh, it must be nice to have your own gym." Don't see all the shit that goes behind it, but. I want to get into like what led up to this point in your life, because I know you used to be in law enforcement and you were in California and all that, but like, yeah, so let's just start, dude. Where are you from? Who are you? And what's all that good stuff?
Dude, I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, it just kind of hit me. I was like, dude, I've lived a crazy ass life, like, and not in a cocky sense, but like super high, super lows. It's kind of wild. When you sit back and reflect, I'm sure you do that too. Like, you just have those days you just sit back and reflect on everything and see where you're at. And you're like, fuck, this is crazy.
It's interesting because you're like, otherwise you just think it's normal. And then when you sit back and you're like, holy shit, I've been through a lot.
Yeah. So I'm from Northern California, wine country, Sonoma County. Let's see, I'll be, 42 this year? I can't even remember. Lived out there for 37 years. Moved out here in February of 22. Childhood was kind of funky. We lived out in the country, pretty poor. It's hard to tell when you're a kid, like, right? You really don't, unless it's like really bad or you're like really rich. You just kind of go through life, and you got food, you got clothes, everything's kind of normal. But you sit back and reflect now, and it's pretty low income, pretty poor out in the country, but we made it work, and wasn't the greatest home life, abuse in the house and stuff like that, and
oh, really? From a young age, huh?
Yeah, and it just seemed nothing sexual, just parents were divorced, so we lived with my stepdad, and he grew up in a little different time. In a little different way. Like, he lived on his own since he was 14. So everything he learned in life was just learning on the streets. So,
did he have his own kids?
No. So, he's still stepdad. He's still dad. Like, it's, I've been able to take kind of some of the stuff that happened and look at it from the perspective of, kind of how he had to grow up and learn. And so I'm able to kind of compartmentalize and go, okay, I don't agree with X, Y, and Z, but I understand the mindset or how that would be normalized or kind of normal. So I've been able to kind of make peace with it, with some of the stuff, and just kind of like, I've lesson learned. I know what I don't want to do and things I don't want to do, and sometimes that's the best way to learn is go through shit, right? So
yeah, makes you stronger.
Yeah.
It's just hard to understand when you're going through it.
Yeah. Started martial arts, like late 80s. I was born in 84, like late 80s. All my life did karate, baseball, some football in high school, soccer. Later in life, jiu-jitsu, pro wrestling, like kind of done it all.
How'd you get into pro wrestling?
So in high school, I wanted to be. So we moved away from my stepdad's. I was like, I think 12, 13. My mom moved out. We moved with her. She ended up getting remarried and wanted to move. I think I was 15. My brother was 17. And we were like, no, we don't want to move. So my brother and I lived by ourselves in our house at 15 and 17. Was kind of kind of a wild time.
So your stepdad moved out, your mom moved out, and you guys kept the house? Or
when I was 12, my mom moved she got a new house. We all moved away from my stepdad's, and then she got remarried and moved about 4 hours away. And me and my brother just stayed at the house there.
How'd you guys make the payments and stuff?
She made payments. She would come up every couple weeks if she needed to do like big grocery shopping, but it was just
she just trusted you and your brother to take care of business.
Yeah. And my brother's kind of a square in high school, and I was, partied with friends and had fun, but like the house was always clean. So it was wild, like living by ourselves. Some of my best friends lived within walking distance, and we would just skate, smoke weed, like do stupid kid stuff.
You were the 15-year-old or the 17?
15.
Okay, so you're the younger one. Yeah.
And so I did that. I love cooking. So like in high school, the goal was to go to the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America in upstate New York. Family didn't have the money for college. It was like $50,000 a year. And
back then, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. My brother was at Arizona State. They were helping him, so that wasn't in the cards. And I was like, well, I've always loved pro wrestling. I would love to get into pro wrestling. So I found a school, all pro wrestling in Hayward, California. It was about 2.5 hours away. I think I was 17. I called. I left a message. I still remember to this day, and this will come in a lot later, but I come home and I got a sticky note on my window or on my mirror. At that point, I lived with my grandparents. And it said Brian Danielson called. And if you watch wrestling at all, Daniel Bryan from WWE, Brian Danielson, he was like, they had the, was it the Bellas? Like they had their talk show, their reality TV show on E! So he was the head trainer at the wrestling school then. Talked to him for about an hour and ended up going down when I was 17, signing up. And as soon as I graduated high school, started pro wrestling school.
Dang.
So yeah, it was a,
what was it that made you want to get into wrestling then? Was it just watching on TV and just like, that'd be cool?
Yeah. I don't like thinking back now. I don't even know. I can't pinpoint something that was like, yeah, that's what made me want. Like, I just loved it. Like just everything about it, the theatrics, the physicality, it was cool. So I wanted to do that.
Were you built? Like, were you a big guy?
Not really. I mean, so I have this argument with my wife constantly. It's a constant battle with her and my best friend. She goes, "You're a large human," and I'm like, "I'm not. I'm just a normal sized person." She goes, "No, you're not. You're a big human." I'm like, "No, I'm just a regular sized guy." And realistically, like, so me saying I wasn't very big, even then I was probably 230.
Out of high school, that's
230, 6'1", 230. But I didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I did that. Was in about a year. Dad died. So took a little break. Wrestling school is, like I said, about 2.5 hours away. So I drove round trip 3-4 days a week for, like I said, I worked at Home Depot. I'd work there. I'd get off, drive 2.5 hours each way, go to wrestling school 3-4 days a week, sometimes 5 if it was week we had shows. Drive home, get home like midnight, go to sleep, wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. That's like 18, 19 years old.
Dang.
Go back to Home Depot, have my little notebook of moves, things I'd learn, and I'd like wrestle. I called it wrestling the Invisible Man, and I would just sit in the back in the tool rental where I worked and just practice wrestling moves with the Invisible Man. There you go. So it was pretty interesting.
Your dad that died, was that your stepdad?
My real dad.
Your real dad.
So
okay.
he had a hard life, a lot of drug use. Ended up having one leg amputated and then bad circulation the other leg. had that amputated, and then he lived about a week after that, and then he passed. So then at 19, I'm in wrestling school trying to figure out, my own shit, and now I got to take care of my brother's in school in Arizona, so I got to handle the estate and deal with all that stuff at 19, which was a fun learning lesson.
I mean, you've pretty much already been an adult since you're 15, though, at that point.
Yeah.
Not like that's any easier, but like you've had a lot of pressure on your shoulders already for years.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've worked pretty much every day since I was 15 and a half, whenever you can get a permit. Even younger, worked with my stepdad doing construction, things like that at, 8, 9, 10 years old. So
was that something that your stepdad really ingrained in you, and your parents just in general, was hard work?
Hard work ethic. Like summer, we're up at 6 o'clock in the morning and roofing, doing yard work, getting ready to go do jobs. He was just like an under the table general contractor that just kind of did odds and ends stuff. But it wasn't, we got to play after all the stuff was done.
Yeah.
It wasn't sitting down playing video games all summer and going to the water park. It was, we got work to do, and after that we can do the fun stuff. So it's where all of that.
How did you take that as a kid versus like looking back at it now? You probably appreciate that now, but as a kid, were you not appreciative of that?
It's weird, honestly. I remember one year, I want to say it was like 6th or 7th grade, or I was getting ready for the summer, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, I can do these jobs with my stepdad during the summer, and if I make $1 an hour, like I had no concept of like what money, like what you made an hour. I think then it was like 3 something an hour is minimum wage. But I was like, if I work this many hours, I work $1 an hour, I'll have this much money by the end. So like it sucked because like you want to do, stuff as a kid, but like we lived in the country. We didn't have,
you pretty much made your own fun anyway.
Yeah. We didn't have neighbors, but like on our property, we had like a double wide trailer that friends of ours, I just call them our cousins now. They moved into with their dad. So it was 4 boys. I was the youngest of 4, which was a challenge. And we just plum wars. We had plum trees. We'd pick old plums and fill buckets. And we had a 3-story fort in the yard, and we'd chuck plums at each other and play tag in the middle of the flashlight tag in the middle of the night until like we just made our own shit to do.
Yeah.
So
not a tablet in sight.
No, we
obviously there's no tablets, but yeah.
I remember saving up for our Nintendo 64, and we had one in our room, but we didn't play that till night.
Yeah.
Like if it's too hot or it's, nighttime, then you come in and play video games, but we weren't sitting there playing video games all day. Like we're outside doing shit. So
how it should be.
So yeah, at 19, that sucked. Took a little break from wrestling to handle that. Came back, had my first 2 wrestling matches, and then felt funky. Went to the doctor and was diagnosed with 3 herniated discs. So that was beginning of 25, I believe.
Was that like an injury that happened instantly, or is that something that built up over time?
I think it was over time. But at that point, like I just got scared. And so I quit wrestling.
Now, is this like WWE kind of stuff? Or
style, yeah. On the independent scene in Northern California.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, TV wrestling, the fake stuff.
Yeah.
I describe it as physical theater. Is
but
the best
still,
way.
I mean, it's still something goes wrong, they're still flying through the air, even if they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly how you guys do it, but it looks real, and it looks like it hurt.
One of the first. So there's a thing in wrestling called heat, and that's like your chops, your punches. The first day we were learning heat, we were doing forearms to the back, and he's like hit with your forearm right across the shoulder blades. So I go, have a guy bent down, I hit him, and they're like, no. Dude, don't pull back, just hit him. And I was like, okay. So like I hit him, and he like hits the floor, and I was like, oh shit, dude, you okay? And he gets up, he's like, man, that felt great. And I was like, oh, okay, this is how we do it. So it's like, it's physical.
So is it like fully rehearsed, like what you see on TV? Like they've already done the full scenes and all that beforehand, or is it kind of like impromptu, but you guys know what you're doing?
So fast forward now, I actually work with a wrestling company. I tour the world and do security for a pro wrestling company. TV style and what we did are a little bit different. there'd be times with matches on the smaller circuit where you go to your guy and be like, hey, let's talk about our match. And I remember one of my trainers, he'd be like, we'll figure it out in the ring. And we're like, yeah, so I want to do this and this. He's like, don't worry about it. We'll talk it. We'll talk it out in the ring. We'll figure it out. And there's it's like a dance. You learn to dance with your partner, and you feel out the crowd. You feel out what they're doing, and you'll have little spots during the match where you can call what you want to do. And the veteran will usually call the match, and they'll tell you tackle, drop down, hip toss. This is what we're doing, and you're talking during the match in super secret ways and figuring it out. In other ways, you're just kind of feeling it out, and it's really cool. Like, people don't give it enough credit for what it is.
I loved watching it as a kid, man. I always had like the Rock hoodies on and stuff. Like, did you ever have like a signature move?
So fast forward, I didn't then. 2007, I got into booking and promoting shows because I wanted to be part of wrestling, but I couldn't wrestle anymore.
Still want to be a part of the world.
Yeah, so I booked and ran a couple shows, which was super interesting. It would tie a lot into this stuff with like owning a business now. It was like I didn't know anything. I just picked up and started doing it. It was like started emailing guys and, what do you charge? How much do you charge for this? How much is this? And in typical fashion for me, I ended up buying a ring instead of renting one. And so I owned a pro wrestling ring and ran some shows. Ended up, when I finished that, ended up having an opportunity to buy a house at like 21. So it was either keep pumping money into wrestling or do the smart adult thing and buy a house. So I stopped wrestling again, let some people use my ring for their shows, and they were like, hey, why don't you come down and do some manager stuff? And I was like, nah, I don't really, I'll get too involved. Next thing you know, I'm doing matches again and wrestling again and taking bumps and getting the shit beat out of me and getting knocked out in matches.
Did you have to get surgery on your back beforehand or anything?
No, we never did surgery because at that time, disc replacement was like a brand new thing. But you could only have one bad disc. It was like experimental in the U.S. So like you could only have one bad disc, and I had 3. So the only thing I was eligible for was fusion, and I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So I just dealt with it. Because of that, I was like too scared to do anything. So I ended up getting up to 310, 315, just super obese, terrible shape, depressed because you're all big fat mess and, everything hurts, always tired, can't breathe. But yeah, I got back into wrestling then and did that for till 2012, I think. And then I had my retirement match in my hometown, which was super cool. After that match, I couldn't walk for like a week.
Oh, went hard.
Back just wasn't having it. And that's kind of where, so that chapter of my life was, I'm really, really blessed. That was like dream number 1 that I achieved. I never, to be honest, I never wanted, my goal was never to be like on TV. Like I was never like, I want to be in WrestleMania. Like I just wanted to be a pro wrestler. Like I just want to do it. And so I got to achieve that goal. That dream. I ended up, it's like 2012, went through a bad breakup, lost my house due to, bad economy, lost my career then, was depressed, obese, and I was like, I can't do this shit anymore.
So was the injury what made you lose your career then?
No, that was the economy. Okay. Like I ended up, it was that shitty, was that
28 to
2012, yeah, that area, the super bad economy, that was part of it. Ended up losing that. So I was working like 3 jobs. I was bouncing. I was working, doing appliance installs for power company basically for like low income, all over Northern California. And I ended up injured, and during that time I broke my back in a car accident. And it was like, I can't do this shit anymore. And I knew nothing about fitness, like absolutely nothing. So I had this conversation with someone the other day. I started with P90X. And I don't know if you remember the P90X videos.
It was like an eight disc series or something, right?
Yep. Yeah. And it was, I didn't know what to do. So like I ended up ordering that shit off TV and online, and started with that and just did that in my garage. And I remember days doing, working out for 5-10 minutes, and you're like fucking dead. Like I couldn't do anything. Then you start getting your cardio up and start shedding some weight. And I ended up losing, I think like 25, 30 pounds doing that. And was like, I kind of like this, like learn more. So then I joined a gym, and again, didn't know a fucking thing. And just like a sponge, just watched and learned and listened. And we were talking earlier about Iron Wars that we had, and two people that I grew up and like I learned were like instrumental in my journey in fitness. It was Kai Green and CT Fletcher. So getting to do an event with CT was like
full circle,
God tier. Yeah. Like, and it was like, I got to tell him on the phone, I was like, hey man, here's a story of like, you were the guy I looked up to. So like getting to, do an event with him was just a bucket list item that I didn't know I had on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So, so then I just started watching and learning and lifting and making mistakes and creating my own programs and trying to figure out fitness shit on my own.
Were you just trying to lose weight at that point? Was that your main goal?
That was my main goal. I didn't know anything about nutrition. Eating rice, broccoli, sweet potatoes, chicken.
Yeah.
And that was my staple. And ended up getting down to, the lowest I got down to was 211. And I ended up breaking 10% body fat. Only time in my life. And, but yeah, lost weight, and then kind of started liking lifting heavy. Generation Iron came out around that time, and I had buddies that were powerlifting and lifting heavy. And I just started again, like watching them, learning from some bodybuilders like, Branch Warren, and just watching what they did and just kind of picking up and emulating things, and realized I like lifting heavy stuff and doing stuff that doctors said I shouldn't be doing, like deadlifting. And what I found was I hurt sitting at home. I hurt going to the gym. But after a while, you lose weight, and that hurt turns into just being sore from lifting, and then that pain goes away. And so like I don't know what my discs are like now. This is 20 something years ago, but you strengthen your body, you use the muscles, you build around it, and it's really not an issue anymore.
Isn't it weird how doctors don't prescribe working out, and they'll just prescribe you to medication instead?
Yeah.
It's like even depression stuff. I remember when I was working in the prison, like they would be so quick to give an antidepressant rather than just saying, "Hey man, you need to get outside. You need to work out. You need to like go on a walk, get some vitamin D from the sun." But they're like, "Here's your doping meds."
Yeah.
And then you're gonna gain all this weight, and then you're gonna be depressed because you're fat, and then you're gonna be eating because you're depressed, and it's like,
yep, vicious cycle. Everyone pumps medication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, trying to take like weight loss advice from a fat doctor. It's like
right.
Versus like the gym bro that everybody looks down on because he's maybe on a cycle or something, but he can tell you a hell of a lot more about how your body works and how your body reacts to certain foods versus other things. And like he never stepped inside of a university for 8 years, and yet he's very, very knowledgeable, way more knowledgeable than the doctor. And like people will always take that piece of paper over this guy's real life experience.
Like you're saying with the cycle, it's so stupid to me. People are like, oh, they just take steroids. That doesn't mean you don't have to work. It just allows you to work harder.
I was that ignorant guy that thought that you just took steroids.
I did too.
And then you're getting big. But as it was explained to me and as I've learned over time is that when you take steroids, you can just, instead of being 3 days to train, you can now train the next day. So you just recover quicker, but you still have to be eating right. You still have to be doing everything you need to do because you can take steroids but still eat like shit.
Yeah.
And now it's not going to do anything. Like you still have to do the work. I'm not saying that there's probably some kind of like protein synthesis where it doesn't get a little bit quicker.
Right.
But you still got to be inflicting damage on that muscle to get it to grow.
100%. Yeah, you can't just there's a lot of people that take steroids that don't look like they take steroids because they think it's just a magic pill.
Right.
But I don't take them. I don't care if people do. Doesn't make a difference to me. It's not my deal.
But you're going to do them, at least do them responsibly, get your blood work checked.
Right, 100%. There's correct ways of doing it, but it doesn't negate hard work.
Exactly.
And like you said, it's people see that piece of paper and they're like, oh, that guy's a doctor. He knows.
Right.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't know. Comes to hormones, you go into your general practitioner for your family doctor for like testosterone stuff. Yeah, not a chance.
Yeah, I'm on TRT from my family doctor, which was surprising because everybody says like your family doctor won't even prescribe you because they're like the worst ones to do it. And he did, but he wants me to be between like a 500 and 800 TRT level. And then the guys at the gym are like, man, if you could hang around like 1,000, you'd be chilling.
Yep.
But like I get close to 1,000 and my doctor just drops me. So it's interesting. And he's a big dude too. And so it's not like they're just reading out of a textbook.
Right.
But then you talk to some doctors or you listen to some doctors on podcasts and they'll tell you in doctor school, like they hardly do anything on nutrition.
Yeah.
So
it's just general fitness or not even fitness, just like
how the
health,
body works.
Wellness. Yeah. I've been on TRT for 5 years and I'm a huge proponent of it. Like for me, it was like the mental side of it. It wasn't even the physical for, being in law enforcement and, all those battles. Like I was like, why do I feel like shit all the time? Like knowing now, going through processes, trauma, anxiety, PTSD, all that stuff is part of that. But the physical part, like testosterone helped a crazy amount. And my doctor who I was going to, I recently switched, not for any bad reason, but he hated, if you asked him, if you brought up like normal levels for testosterone, he'd get furious. He's like, normal's bullshit. Like the drug industry and researchers and labs and whatever, they've been consistently dropping the level for whatever is quote unquote normal. Like it used to be like 1,500 used to be your average level for testosterone. And then it's drop. Now they'll tell you, oh, if you're between 200 and 800, you're good.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, let's not talk about the shit they put in water and the shit they put in food and plastics and all that kind of stuff. That I'm not like this holier than thou person. I still eat shit that I shouldn't. Like I get it, but there's all these things that are in food and your water that have attacked and just lowered the testosterone levels, and it's just getting worse. So his thing was always, I don't care what normal level is, I care what optimal level is. And I don't always care. He didn't necessarily always care about what your numbers were. It's how you felt. So like he would have guys come in that were in the, older guys in the 300s and guys like, he's like, how do you feel? And he's like, I feel like I'm 25. And he goes, cool. I'm not going to do anything for you because you feel great. And then guys, it was 700, 800 and they're like, I'm foggy brain. I have no sex drive. I have no, don't have, I'm angry all the time, whatever it is. And he's like, okay, well, let's get you on some testosterone. Let's get your levels and change them. So it's like, I remember I was in like the low 2s and I went to my doctor and she's like, oh, you're normal. Like, you're fine. And I'm like, I'm not fine. She goes, no, you probably have sleep apnea. Well, I do the test and they're like, you don't have sleep apnea. She's like, you're fine. You're good. And I'm like, I'm not good. And that's, finding a hormone doctor and doing that. That shit saved my life. Like getting testosterone and balancing your hormones. And like, I can't preach that stuff enough to people.
Yeah. Yeah. I had 4 kids already when I got tested. I wasn't even going in for testosterone. I was just getting a blood work done because I had never done my blood work. And I was like, nah, let's just get it done. And he's like, you want testosterone checked? And I was like, sure, add it on. And it came back and I was like a 170. And he's like, yeah, that's low because I wanted you between like a 5 and 800.
Yeah.
And even that like is low. But he's like, yeah, so we'll kick you up. And then I tried to do the natural stuff like the ashwagandha, terkesterone, like all that for like 3-4 months. And I came back and it was like a 176. Had not gone hardly at all.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll take the shot. So I did that. But yeah, I was already like 4 kids in. So I figured like, I probably don't have anything wrong. If I had 4 kids, like something's got to be working, right? You know? So yeah, it did make a difference in my confidence level. And then my wife, I hate it when she says it, but she can tell when like my energy's getting low. She's like, you need to go shoot up. And I'm like, don't say it like that.
Yeah, no, I'm not a drug addict.
Yeah.
So yeah, we that's how I started in like the gym world, is just learning, just kind of getting like sucked into bringing food everywhere and prepping and going to friends' houses for holidays and parties and bringing my own food and
being the weird guy.
Like I could eat sushi every meal, all day, every day. And we would go every Monday, we'd go to all you can eat sushi. There's a group of us, and I would go and just sit and just watch them eat. And they're like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I can't. Like, it doesn't fit. Like, I'm cutting. I can't do it. And for me, there was just it was that, like we were talking about earlier, it's just those mental tests, like pushing yourself, doing things that are uncomfortable, that suck, that are hard, that like you want that instant gratification of like, yeah, I want to eat all that shit on the table right now, but I can't. I'm just gonna sit and torture myself, and then you're done, and you're like, okay, well, it wasn't that hard,
right?
Like, and then I met my wife, and our first date was at the gym.
There you go.
And we met at a bar and on Valentine's Day, and we ended up talking, and somehow gym stuff came up with a bunch of people, and my buddy and I ended up saving her and her friends from some drunk asshole, and we all just kind of hung out, and we were talking, and, oh, what's your favorite day at the gym? And I was like, yeah, back day. And she's like, mine too. And I was like, we should work out sometime. And then that's our first date was at the gym. And then fuck, man, that was she's gonna kill me, 2015, and been together every day since.
Yeah, there you go, dude. Got to know it's a good start when your first date's at the gym.
Yeah, and I like you. I was listening to your episode with Bam and talking about wives that like having that like ride or die, and man, if you don't have that, you got to find it. Like having that person in your corner is like, that changes everything.
Someone that believes in you more than you do sometimes.
Yeah, and they got to balance you out, but being able to push you or believe it, like going through this process with the gym. And I mean, we went through battles of her almost leaving, and, you know, walking out on the marriage, taking our daughter, just going through PTSD, me going through PTSD, just being an asshole and not even realizing it, and go through these days of like, I'm super up here about the gym and going through this process. Like that was a 4-year process for us to get the gym open. And it was a lot of times we both wanted to quit, and I'd be like, I'm done. And she's like, no, you're fucking not. You're not quitting now. Like, you've put me through all this shit. We're going to keep going. And then there'd be times where she's like, I don't know how much more I got. And I'm like, well, we're not quitting yet. Like, we got to keep going. So
yeah, marriage isn't 50-50. It's not 100-100. It's like some days you're 80, some days they're 20, but like, you gotta make up for the other person. Like it's not always going to be 50-50.
Right. And we kind of have a little code sometimes where it's like, she'd be stressed out and she'd come in and she'd be like, I'm at a 2. She's like, I got a 2. And I'm like, I got a 7. So I got you. Like, I'm up here, you're down here. I'll take it. we're good. And there's this week was a perfect example. I just like anxiety hits and I'm like, I can't, there's certain days like I can't talk to people. I can't think about what I'm doing. I can't function. I'm just kind of like, just pelted with anxiety and weighs you down. And she's like, don't worry, I got it. I'll pick up the slack. Like, so, you know, it's cool having that person to pick that up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I listened to Alex Ramosi or something. And he was saying that the biggest factor of someone's success is who they pair their life with. It's not their business partner.
No.
They go home. It's the person that you go home to every single night.
Yeah.
And the person that's going to be there in your darkest moments when you're at your lowest, when you want to give up, when you need your ego checked or something.
Right.
That person that but at the end of the day, they have to believe in you. And if they don't believe in you, or you're going home to someone that's nagging at you or questioning you or questioning your beliefs and risk on like you should just take a safe job or anything like that, like it's going to be terrible.
That part's hard though too, is like balancing those. I'm sure you've done that too. Like there's days where my wife's like, you need to stop. Like I don't need to be your business partner right now. I need to be your wife. Like that stuff's got to that stuff needs to go on hold. And I'm not the best with it and I'm like, okay, but I gotta, like, I haven't seen you all day. I got to go through that. And she's like, I need a break. Like I don't need business partner. Like
right.
I need husband. Like, so it's finding that balance is hard.
That's gotta be hard too when you guys both work together.
Yeah, it's hard. It's awesome though. Like
it's great. Yeah, it's just like, but having that disconnect. Like once we leave these doors, we need to
how to shut that off.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not always easy. But then you were talking about I just drew a blank. But yeah, filling in those gaps. Oh, you were talking about like supporting that dream. I remember when I retired from the department and I was like, well, I'll just go get a job at Home Depot and stock shelves. And she's like, you're not fucking doing that. And I was like, it's safe. It's easy. Like I just make some money and just go do that. She's like, no, you'll be miserable. And I have to put up with you being miserable. She's like, we're not doing that. And that was a huge driver for like pushing through and continuing and trying to make all these crazy ass dreams happen.
Do you feel like your wife's more risk adverse than you are? Like she's more willing to take the risk, or?
No, I'm definitely more. So she has a thing with, I have an alter ego for her that she has an alter ego for me that she calls Brittany. Cause I'm just like, I have these ideas and it's not just like, we should do this. It's, we should do this. And it's like this big, grandiose, huge. And she's like, settle down. Like, that's not like, she's definitely more level headed with it, which is important. Cause I can have these huge, big ideas and then she kind of wrangles them into something that's more realistic. That makes a little more sense. But she just knew going through. So yeah, I was law enforcement for I was with them for 7 years.
Yeah. So how'd you get into law enforcement? Where did you switch from to get into the idea of, I'm going to be in law enforcement?
So that was Dream 2. Was one day, what job I was working, a buddy goes, hey, I'm going to take a test for, police academy. You should come with me. And I'm like, I've no desire to do this. Never even thought about it once. But I was like, all right, I'll just go with him, support him. Go to do the entry test. And he walks out of the test, doesn't even finish it. And I took the test and I finished it and got top 5% on the test. And I was like, oh, maybe this is something I could do. And just from then on, it just kind of grew and grew and grew into something that I was like, I want to do this. Again, that was a battle. It wasn't just like, oh, I want to do this and I apply and I got it. Like the economy sucked. Departments weren't hiring.
Was that to be a city cop?
Yeah. Yep. It's in one of the cities in the area, like smaller town, 50, 60,000.
Yeah.
But it's at that time you had to put yourself through an academy, or some departments were hiring, they'd put you through the academy. Well, budget cuts, no one was putting people through. So it was a battle to go in. I ended up putting myself through an academy.
How much did that cost?
Shit, I'm still paying for it. Student loans.
Really? Oh, really?
It was probably 8,000 or 10,000. And then I put myself through, applied for a couple departments in the academy. I did really well in the academy. And then...
Was that more like the drill instructor stuff? Or is that more like highway patrol? Or?
No, that one's way more paramilitary than when I went through San Francisco. This one was done through like a junior college, so it's like a regional academy, and you'd have people from all over.
What'd you do in San Francisco? Sorry,
San Francisco PD.
Oh,
that's where I ended up working.
Oh, okay. So you had okay.
So I put myself through an academy, a regional academy. Didn't get picked up. Was working at security at a casino, and applied for San Francisco, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll hire you. You got to go through our academy." So I had to go through a second one. That was in 2016, and I go through that academy, and it was.
Did they pay for that one, or did you guys pay for that one as well?
Oh, we were paid in the academy, so they paid for it because it was theirs.
Oh, okay.
So like I was full hourly. My career started there, so I was getting paid.
Right on.
I was getting paid more than some departments make just being in the academy.
Right. Is that, I mean, San Francisco, that's probably what, millions of people in that area?
No, that's what's crazy is people envision it like they think of San Francisco like New York, which is like what 10 million people or something crazy in the boroughs. San Francisco's like, I think the population is like 900,000.
Oh, really?
But
smaller than Treasure Valley then.
It's not that big.
Okay.
And it's only like a 7 by 7 square mile. Like it's pretty small, but because like the tech hub, it almost doubles in size during the day for like work. So all the people that commute in. So like it's a busy city. The population that lives there isn't as big as some places.
That Silicon Valley?
Yep. Yeah, Silicon Valley area. There's so many huge tech places that are out of San Francisco. So yeah, it blows up. It like doubles in size during the workday.
So what was your academy like? You said it was a lot more paramilitaristic than the junior college. What was that like?
The junior college one was way more hardcore. The San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, San Francisco. I was like, I'll be honest, I was kind of bored through a lot of it.
Really? Okay.
I wish it was harder and stricter. I didn't need the discipline, but there were some people that really did.
Should have got cut, maybe.
Yeah. But
they passed the mirror test. They put a mirror under their nose.
Yeah,
and it fogs up.
Pretty much. Yeah. I ended up meeting like day one. I sit down. I walk in. I sit down, and guy walks in, kind of looks at me. We kind of eyeball each other. He was older. I was older. I think I started at like early 30s when I started, mid 30s. Sits down next to me. He's like probably 2 years older than me. And from that day, from day one of the academy, we were inseparable. He ended up he was in my wedding. I was best man at his wedding. We became partners because in San Francisco, most of the time you roll partners. So 2 people in a car. So for a good chunk of my career, he was my partner. To the point where in the academy, we do this big run at the end, and then they tell you what station. We had 10 stations. They tell you what station you're going to go to for field training. And everyone, like, Northern Station was like the holy grail of stations. It's like, oh, that's the station you want. So my partner gets a Northern Station. And then it comes to me, and everyone knew, like, they were just so sick and tired of us. Like, we were always partnered for everything. And I remember it comes down to me, and they're like, Thompson, Northern Station. And there was an audible, what the fuck? Like, people were like, what is going on? How do they end up at the same station? So, we end up going to the same station. We get split up later for probation, but then at our third station, we end up back together and partnered for 3 years.
I'm sure it makes the job a lot easier when you're partnered with somebody that you like to be with rather than someone you don't want to be in a car with.
Yeah, absolutely. Policing's hard. I mean, you know, doing corrections, right? it's different, but
oh yeah, totally different.
It's still in that same field, and I'm sure I'm gonna ruffle feathers. There's a lot of people who shouldn't be cops, and it's not a. I think the public perception of policing is like, oh, bad cops, but it's this like Hollywood version of a bad cop. They think, oh, they're stealing drugs and they're selling and they're robbing people. It's like
training day people,
right? That shit doesn't happen. Like, does it happen? Like, the reality is, sure, it happens, but like, there's 800,000 cops in the United States. Mm-hmm. That happens like twice. Like, it's just not a thing. For me, the standard of a bad cop is like people who don't handle their calls when they should. People who write shitty reports so they don't have to go to court. Like, people who don't collect evidence because they don't want to have to do follow-up. Like, to me, that's like a shitty cop. And there was a lot of people that I was like, you don't deserve to be wearing this uniform. So we had a hard time at some of the places because it was like, we just like to work. We were hustlers. It was like, our job is to serve the community and protect the community. So like, our job is to be out there doing it. And we were, they call it running and gunning all day. Like, and some people didn't like it, but yeah, it made the job a whole lot easier to deal with.
When did you start that job? What year?
2016.
Okay. How? Because I was talking to another buddy that he used to work in Sonoma or something like that, and he was just saying that during the COVID times it was just terrible in California to be a cop because, just like, it was like hooking and booking, and then the releasing, and the jails were overcrowded. They didn't want people and stuff. So, I'm sure that was its own thing. But I was going to ask you, how do you feel about like the stereotypes about like the fat cops and now that you're in fitness? Like, to me, also just like for the corrections officers that are overweight, it's like you have a duty to the public to be able to protect and serve, right? But if you can't even protect yourself in those situations,
right.
like, and I used to be that guy. I was a way overweight CO, but now looking back and then after like when I lost that weight, it was a completely different thing, and you had more confidence. And like, I was on a cell extraction team. I was qualified, I should say. I was qualified to be on a cell extraction team, but I was so overweight that I was never placed on that team. So I was more of a liability. So my question to you is like, what should they do for those cops that are liabilities more than they are assets to their team? Like reactive uses of force, or like if they can't even chase after someone, should there be like physical fitness tests that they should have to pass every single year?
At 100%. And we had tests that you had to pass, but they weren't very strict, or certain people didn't have to adhere to them. You shouldn't be facing the public. At the gym, we call first responders occupational athletes. That's what I refer to first responders and like military. You're an occupational athlete. That's your job. You should train like an athlete. You should treat your body like you're an athlete. I've always been big, and I got out of shape. I'm not in great shape right now, but I also train for something like I do powerlift. Like I powerlift, so it's just different.
It's not
right?
endurance.
Yeah. So, but as a cop, I got out of shape and got complacent. And it's a hard job when you're working 60 hours a week, not counting, 2 hours of commute a day, and trying to find time for, family and gym and doing all that shit. Like, but there's a certain way of like carrying yourself, like command presence and how you present yourself, and keeping it, like, even if you're a little bit out of shape, keeping yourself clean, keeping yourself presentable. So that was important. Cops that can't pass those tests should not be on the street. Like, there's no to me, there's no excuse of having to use force because you're getting overpowered because you're out of shape. To me, that doesn't fly. Like if you're a smaller person,
right,
and you're being overpowered, that makes sense. Like I don't think there should be necessarily a size requirement of like, oh, you have to be over 5'5" and 180 pounds. Like,
yeah,
it takes all sizes, but like, man, if you can't put your gun belt on and you can't tie your shit, you can't get out of your car because you get stuck. Like,
if people look at you and they think I could take this guy in a foot race, like,
so they might have. I was lucky. I only got in a few fights and a few foot pursuits because some people don't care, but we were very like I was just honest with people. Like if we had to sit someone down, I'd sit them down, and you could watch their eyes. Like you learn how to read people and then watch their eyes. And I would sit there and my partner's talking to them, and I'd triangulate and kind of scoot over and fill in that gap, and they'd look, and I could tell what they were thinking, and I would just say to them, I go, if you're thinking of running, don't do it, because at some point I'll catch you. And it's not going to end well. So just don't. And a lot of times, especially when we work in like the projects and stuff like that, if you're honest with them and you talk to them, you don't bullshit them, like be respectful, but like talk to them, like they get it. But yeah, if you can't pass the physical fitness test, to me, you don't deserve to wear the uniform. Like you should have some level of fitness and capacity of maintaining that.
Yeah. When I was working at the prison my last 6 months, I was an RNE, so I just would go to different units if they needed help or whatever, post for movements. But I remember there was a couple people that I had to go and do their roof checks because they couldn't go up the ladder.
Yeah.
Like, because it was too tiny of an opening, and they're just big people and they can't go up, or they were like just too out of shape to even go up the ladder, which is one of the physical tests that you have to pass to get into the CO Academy, is like climbing a ladder.
Right.
And now you can't do that, and that's like a requirement to be in here, but you can still be on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand this.
Yeah, it shouldn't stop at you pass a test to get into the academy or to graduate. You should have to pass the same test to continue your career. Now if you were talking as people get older, age, people slow down, injuries, stuff like that. There's places for like you can do more desk stuff. Like we had each station with our department was basically its own department. Like we had holding cells, you had guys who'd run the desks, do stuff within the station. So like there's places for people who just you're getting at the end of your career and it's time to hang it up a little bit.
Yeah. Like at the prison, they just tower up.
Okay. Yeah. I also don't, and this is going to be unpopular, I don't think policing should be a 30-year career. I don't think it's sustainable for anyone who says that they aren't affected. My theory is if you don't get affected by the job, like mentally, you probably don't care. And it's from a mental health, like in family health standpoint, it's not sustainable for the vast majority for a full career. Like, I can't tell you the amount of people the guys I worked with that are like, they're on their fourth marriage. And we had one guy working, he was going to retire and then go to another department because he was paying alimony to like 2 different people. And then he was on his third marriage. And it's like, for what? The second you leave that job, they don't care about you. Second you're gone, they'll tell stories for a couple weeks, and then you don't exist anymore.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Brothers in Blue? It doesn't really feel like a brotherhood when you leave, or if it's like you versus the department.
No, when I am extremely pro cop. I love the frontline workers, the boots on the ground. Like it's a very necessary thing in society. I don't like admin. I don't like the city officials. I don't like people at the tops of the departments. I think it's all bad. Like, and some people, if you watch this and you're one of those, sorry. Like, if I know you, sorry. It's just once people get to a certain level, it's like they just forget what that job's like. We would see it all the time. It's like guys would promote up and they get to a certain level of like a commander, and then they're like, oh, you can't do this anymore. You can't work this overtime. You can't. Well, they don't want you to work overtime or a certain amount because now you're making more money than they are. And they can't have a little patrol cop making more money than someone who's got stars and bars. So now they got to change policy. So like stuff like that, I have a problem with. But like you talk about the brotherhood, when I went out, I tell people I'm not cocky. I've learned through my process in life to embrace, and this goes back to fitness. So I tell people is like, celebrate your wins. It doesn't matter how big it is, how small it is. Like you hit that body fat percentage, you hit that PR, fucking celebrate it. Take videos, take pictures, post it, like jump for joy, be proud. Like you did the work. Like I was very good at my job as a cop. In the 5 years that I was on patrol and worked undercover, like my partner and I were pretty decorated, especially for 5 years. Was very good at what we did. 2021, I started, we had a really shitty call. And I started after that call, it was about the time my daughter was about to be born. And I noticed, excuse me, really shitty call. I noticed I started like feeling really weird, like processing mentally, like a lot of guilt. A lot of guilt about the call, the way it turned out. Everybody lived. There was a guy they thought would die. He was in ICU for five weeks. He ended up living, which was awesome. But I just had this guilt of like, we didn't do enough. We debriefed the call with tactical team, with, sergeants, with everybody. We debriefed the call a dozen times, and everybody said, you guys did exactly what you're supposed to do. Like, there's nothing else we could have done. But I held on to a lot of guilt of, kind of how everything turned out. And I just started feeling shitty. So a few months goes by and it's just depressed, angry, pissed off. I remember being at a call and some lady was complaining about some crazy homeless person who came in and was throwing shit into like in a little corner store. And she's like, oh, she's probably hungry. Maybe you should get her some food. And I go, if you fucking care, maybe you get her some food. I go, you're the problem. You created this city in this situation where these people feel like they can just get away with doing whatever they want. And she was just appalled. And I go, if you don't like it, take her and you can go take her to the mayor's house. Let her deal with it. And I go back to my sergeant and I go, hey, I'm probably going to get a complaint. Here's what happened. Like, I just lost I didn't have a filter. Like, if I was pissed off, I didn't care. I would tell anybody.
All after that call.
Yeah. And I just started noticing this decline in.
What was it with that call? Did you feel like looking back, there was something else that you could have done, or what was it that was really holding?
No. So we ended up, long story short, we ended up getting a call of a guy that was hurting. The call was a guy was hurting some family members. We go to the call. It seemed kind of routine. San Francisco, you get a lot of crazy 911 callers. Door opens. I walk up the stairs. Door opens. 3 women come, like, rush out of the door covered in blood. So we get them to safety. There ends up being the suspect barricades in the house. There ends up being an old man and a teenage boy in the house still. So my partner's doing first aid, rendering first aid to the victims. And, I call in all the cavalry, set up perimeters and all that kind of stuff and get medics. So we're getting them tended to. And then we start learning there's somebody inside who could be injured. An old man who could be injured. Still don't have enough to go in. Suspect supposedly has a gun, so like there's protocols, so we kind of hold back. During that, a guy in the back, an officer in the back goes, "Hey, we see the suspect hitting an old man in the head with a computer." So I go, rewind. During that, I was going back and forth, like, I think we got to make entry, like, and kind of battling with myself about forcing entry, but we didn't like have enough. Nothing was confirmed. So once that starts, the guy starts getting hit with the computer. I look at a sergeant and I go, "Hey, we're going in." And he's like, wait. And I go, "No, we're fucking, like, we got to go." So in about 15 seconds, we put together a team. My partner's in the front with a shield, and I boot the door, and, you know, we all run in, we make entry, we go through the house, we find the suspect, get him into custody. And the older man's laying in like a puddle of like gelatinous blood coming from his head. We get medics in, they take him, officer rides with him to the hospital, and the officer calls me and she's like, "Yeah, medics say he's not going to make it." And I'm like, fuck. So that was like the only, that was the only call in my career. Sometimes I can talk about it, sometimes I can't. My partner and I are covered in blood. So later I go, "Hey, I got to go back to the station to change." So I go back to change, and I call my wife, because she'd called me like 10 times, and I hadn't answered the call. I'd gone through active shooters and other stuff, and so like we had a kind of a process of like letting her know I'm okay. And I'm driving back to the station, I call her, and I just fucking lost it. Like, I'm in tears. So fast forward, I'm on paternity leave. And I'm calling the hospital to check on the old man to make sure he's okay, seeing what's happening. He ends up getting released. But those following months, I'm just like, okay, did I react too slow? Like, if I would have gone in sooner, then we wouldn't have been in that situation. He wouldn't have been, you know, in ICU. All these things wouldn't have happened. But like, I knew that I did the right thing, that we handled it correctly. But there's still that guilt of, could I have done something better? So I start feeling shitty. And then one day we're at the gym, our friend's gym, and the wife says to my wife, was like, "Something's wrong with Sean. Like, he's not normal." And somehow that just kind of clicked and hit me. So I ended up calling a therapist and starting going to therapy, and going through that process of talking to him and kind of talking through stuff. There's therapists who speaks with law enforcement, like they're trained to deal with law enforcement. So going through that process, and, you know, he gets my wife involved, and like, you know, I want her to write me letters of the shit you do. She writes him a 3-page letter of like, you know, screaming in my sleep, and, you know, radio, you know, doing building searches in my sleep, or waking up in the middle of the night, like yelling, "We're getting shot at," like just crazy shit that I didn't know was happening. But then stuff that was like, you know, she wrote down, she almost left, because it was just, I was never there. And, you know, even when I was there, it was like just a shell of a person. We'd go to a restaurant and she'd be like, "Oh, what do you want?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking care. Just pick something. Doesn't matter." Like, you're just not living. Like, she's basically single. So I go through that, and one day I'm talking to the doctor, and I'm like, "I don't know anything about PTSD." And I was like, I'm not trying to like be dramatic, but I'm like, I feel like, is that a thing? Like, do I have that? And he's like, he kind of laughs. I think we're like 8 sessions in. Like, he kind of laughs and he goes, "I had PTSD written down on your form from our second meeting." Like, so we're going through this whole process.
Did you feel like it was just kind of a buzzword at that point? Like, you weren't really into it, or like the idea of PTSD, you didn't really have an idea of what it was?
I had no clue. Cause like, you go through and I've talked to guys, you go through the academy and you're going through these process, and they talk about it, and they're like, and I tell people now, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna you're going to go through and you're going to go home. You're going to go out to dinner with your wife, and you're going to tell them to pick. And they're like, it's normal. You're just tired. You're not tired. Like it's not because you're just tired from the job. Like that's trauma. Like that's years of trauma, and it affects you as a person. I talked to a sergeant who actually moved out here, that I worked with at one of the stations. We've had this conversation of, he started 20 years before me. He had the exact same thing in the academy where they're like, it's just normal. It's just a hard career and you just get tired sometimes. It's not being tired. Like that's trauma. So I'm going through the process and going through therapy, and I go in one day working with my partner. I'm driving. We get to a call, and I kind of like blink and wake up, and we're like at a call. And I go, fuck, I was driving the car. I don't know how we got here. I don't know where we drove from. I don't remember what the call is. I don't remember what we talked about. I don't remember what the music that was on the radio. Like, I don't remember 10, 15 minutes of driving to this call. So I called my therapist that day and I go, I need to see you tomorrow. So I go in and I told him what happened. I go, I can't do this anymore. Like, and then I come to learn they call it dissociating. So I was dissociating like while I was driving. It was basically, it almost feels like tunnel vision that they describe of like, now if it happens to me, which it hasn't in a long time, but like if it happens, I can like feel it. Like you can feel the walls closing in and like just kind of focusing, and I have to like stop. And there's processes you learn of like using your brain to like, okay, look at things and pinpoint, okay, black things on the wall, white light, you process certain smells and you tell yourself the smell and touch certain things, and it kind of grounds you and brings you back in. But I was like, fuck, I was doing that for 4 years. Like, so I pulled myself, and it's a long story to get back to the brotherhood of when I was out with my stuff, I had people actually call me asking if I was faking.
Wow, really?
And I was like, yes, I'm faking that my wife almost left me. Like, cool. Like, and that was hard. I don't talk to as many people as I used to. There's some people my partner I talk to 3-4 times a week. Like, we still visit and, do family vacations and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people that it's like, they don't give a shit. You're just not there. Like, and I get it. Life, and it's not always malicious, right? Life is, I have friends I grew up with that I've been friends with since first grade. And I talk to them like once a year. It's just life. But like, people put so much stock in like, I'm a cop. Like, no, that's what you do, dude. That's not you. Like, don't make that your identity. Like, it's a job. Like, hold yourself to a higher standard. It's a different career than other careers, but like, don't let that define who you are as a person, because at the end of the day, those people don't give a shit about you. Like, once you're gone, unless you build that special bond with certain people, like when you leave, department doesn't care who you were. The department tried to fight my medical retirement up to the day that I got it approved. Like, I went 16 months of being retired before they started paying me my medical retirement. And they tried to fight it the entire time and denied it.
Or were they trying to fight and say that, were they trying to say you were faking it or something?
Yeah.
So that obviously was going around the department, and that's when you started hearing it from other officers or something?
No, I started hearing it from people before.
Oh, okay.
But they tried to say that I was faking. I was like, except for
You're like the star, not star, but like you're a top, very decorated officer. So it's not like you were just like a bottom barrel officer, right, and you're trying to get retirement or out. Right. Like you were one of their top people.
I'm a worker.
You're going through things.
And yeah, and I had a really hard time with it, to the point of where I was telling my wife, was like, I'm going through this, and they're like, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar. And then that starts in your head. And I go to my wife one day, I go, am I just making this up? Like, is this real? Like, am I lying? And then you have to like bring yourself back. And I'm like, no, like the shit I've seen, the way, like, this is real. They just don't want to pay you. They just don't want to take care of you. So I had to battle that the entire time.
For 16 months?
No, the whole process took me about 3 years.
Oh my gosh.
From September, I think it was 21st or 19th of 21 was my last day of work. And my official retirement day was May 11th of 2023. But I didn't start getting my retirement until November or December of 24.
Jeez.
So
So what was that like when you realized, yeah, I'm done with the department? Like,
I had a hard time.
Was that a hard time? Yeah.
It was hard because I worked my ass off for that. Part of it was me, and I told my therapist one day, I go, I can't go back. Like, I'm not safe. I swore an oath to protect the public, and I cannot safely protect the public. I have a gun. Like, I always took the stance, if I get hurt, I don't care. Like, I obviously cared, but you know what I mean? Like, my priority is my partner's safety. It's victim safety, and it's suspect safety. Like, making sure everybody else goes home is my number one priority, and I can't safely do that. So it is my duty to remove myself from that situation. And then I went into, what the fuck do I do now? Like, I'm just a stupid cop. Like, I don't have a college education. I don't have a backup plan. I don't have anything to fall back on. I ended up going to a live-in retreat for first responders for PTSD. And it was probably the hardest week of my life, where it was like, man, they took care of everything. They cleaned, they cooked. We didn't have to pick our dirty dishes off the table. Like, they did everything. They took care of us. But it was 12 plus hours a day of therapy, of group sessions, of crying, talking about my dog that we had to put down because I felt like I didn't put him down soon enough. Like, just, you're going through every emotion, and it's just exhausting. Like, it's just EMDR treatment and group therapy and individual therapy. But it was, I said it like with testosterone, like, it was a lifesaver. It was the best thing I could have ever done. Like, I left as a different person. But one of the things I learned in that was, and I've told people, buddies who've retired, was like, you're not just a dumb cop. Like, I don't have any skills. Yes, you do. Look at the things you've, like, I go, look at the things I've done. And I use this when we were building the gym. It was like scene management, team management, crisis intervention, de-escalation. I've run critical incidents. I've gone into active shooters. I've, like, all these different things you do as a cop, especially in a city like that. And I go, those are skills. Those are skills that translate into other fields, into other careers, into other jobs. And a lot of those are skills that you can't learn at a college. You can't get on a piece of paper. Like, being able to speed up and slow down and make split-second decisions based on, you know, a new suspect entering a scene or someone being eliminated, or, you know what I mean? Like, all these different variables, you have to be able to change on the fly. You can't teach that everywhere else. And you can't teach doing that and keeping yourself composed in other places. So, like, once I learned that, I was like, okay, I can do something. But then it's like, then what do you do to fill that gap? Because, like, you go from this, you know, being adrenaline all the time to, you know, stock shelves at Home Depot. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
that's what you were considering doing, right?
Yeah, because I did that when I was younger. So I'm like, I know this. It's safe. It's easy. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that, but for me, it was like, how do I fill that void of, like,
purpose?
Purpose. Like, what is my purpose? And that's where the gym came in was now I have the ability to, like, I love fitness. Like, that's how my wife and I met. And I have the ability to create a space. So during that time with the PTSD, the gym was like my safe place. We had we had a home gym. We had our buddy's gym because a lot of it was during COVID and during the riots and all that. So like I worked out at home, and it's where I got the strongest I've ever been, and I loved it. That's where Nine Realms Athletics was born, was in our garage gym. And I was like, now we have the opportunity, we can create that space for other people. Like, we can give other people that place where they're looking to find their path, or a place where they belong, and maybe they feel like an outcast and they don't belong somewhere, or they don't know where. But this can be a place where they can at least escape for a little bit, and maybe it helps them develop as a person and find something, like. Or for our veterans and first responders, it's like they need a safe space where they can blow off steam, they can get therapy, they can, not think about all that other shit. Well, you can come here and do it here. Like we know what you're going through, and we want to create that space for you to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome, man. I think that's very important especially for anybody that's going through any kind of mental PTSD or just trauma that they've gone through as a kid. Or I tell this to people I talk to all the time on client calls, but it's like I wish people would have pitched the gym to me as a kid for the mental health way versus any of the muscles and all this other stuff. Like, I've got way more therapeutic from the gym than I ever did going to any of these therapies that I went through as a kid or things like that. But you had mentioned that you were on paternity leave. So did you have a kid during this time? Like, the first kid?
We have one, but
okay.
We had our daughter
and
during.
How big of a impact was that then on your mental of wanting to retire medically because of what you're going through? Like, did that scare you at all now that you're a dad?
Like retiring and losing
a
career,
just your mental well-being. Was that a part of it at all now that you're a father?
Yes, part of that. Like, I've come to terms with a lot of it. Sucks for my daughter's, too young she won't remember it, I hope. I sucked during her first couple years. Like, it was in the middle of my battles with PTSD. My wife also worked for a sheriff's department. She was animal control. So like, she ended up going back to work. And there's times where it was just me and my daughter, and I would call her freaking out. I'm like, why the fuck won't she go to sleep? Why is she crying? And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, her first, I don't know, man, like year and a half, like I just didn't enjoy it. 'Cause like I was so stressed out. Like I didn't have as much fun. There was times I had fun, but it was like every little thing, like, why won't she be quiet? Mm-hmm. Well, dude, she's a toddler. She's an infant. Like, they can't talk. They don't understand. But like, my brain was so screwed up that like I just couldn't process that. But then I got to be home, and I really used the tools that I learned in therapy. And every day I fought to try to make myself better. Like, I couldn't go to a coffee shop. Like, I didn't want to be around anybody. So like my wife and I, for a while, we would make it like, okay, one day a week, we're just going to go get coffee. Like, we're going to force ourselves. I'm going to force myself to go out in public and be around people. And then it would like, okay, now we're going to go to a restaurant, and I'm not going to face the door, because that's what we do. It's like, you have to be able to see and scan and know all the threats. And like, I still do it.
Yeah.
But like, I made myself be vulnerable and not do it, because I had to get past that. Like, I had to become a normal person again. So then I sit at home, and I go from like working every day for 20 years to like sitting at home and I can't do anything. And that was hard. Like, I felt useless as a person, but I got to watch, watch my daughter grow up in her first steps and her, like, all these things that a lot of people miss. Like, I got to be present and see those things. So, like, I don't think I didn't take that into account necessarily, because, like, I would love for her to be proud to be like, yeah, my dad's a cop. But, like, getting to see all those things definitely helped me cope with the idea that I can't go back to that career.
Yeah.
Like, being able to, be there for my wife to the point of where it's like, okay, you need to go outside. Like, you need to get out of the house and not bother me, because I'm stuck with you all day.
Yeah.
So, it was a blessing and a curse. I said, I wish I could go back and fix some of that stuff with, during my daughter's first couple years, but that's life. You just have to figure it out and make it up when you can. Learn from it and try to help other people. Yeah,
well, you still did it well. She was young enough that she won't remember, so that was good that you were able to do that. What was some of the things that you became desensitized to that would definitely give the normal person PTSD?
So one of my, I think it was probably the first homicide that I worked it wasn't our call, but we were second on scene. We were literally running up right behind the first people who were getting there, and guy got shot in the head with a 45. He had his phone up to his ear, went through his phone, out his jaw. So blew out his jaw. He's in the middle of the street, and there's a stream of blood about, I don't know, like 6 inches wide, about 12 feet long, just like going to the gutter. And they start doing CPR, or compressions. The guy's dead. Mm-hmm. He's alive, but, like, we know he's dead. Yeah. And it's crazy to think back now, because I can still see it. He's looking around and he finds me, and we just lock eyes for like 10 seconds, and his jaw is flopping, like, as they're doing compressions, but his eyes are saying to me, help me. And the only thing I can think of is, like, what am I going to eat? Like, I'm hungry. Like, I need to eat after this call. So, like, am I going to get spaghetti? Am I going to get salad? Oh, this place is probably, and that's literally what I'm processing in my head, is like, yeah, what are we gonna eat? As this dude's dying right in front of me. And it's just a weird, like, now thinking back, after going through therapy, like, that just seemed normal. You're like, oh, it's the cool stuff with the job. But, like, thinking back now is like, yeah, that's where trauma comes from. Like, we had I think it was 2017, there was an active shooter at the UPS building in San Francisco. We were in a different district, but I remember I used to listen to all the different channels because I want to know what was going on. And I heard it, and I was listening to it. We were on a call. I think it was a car accident, and no one was hurt. And I hear them go, we need more people. So, like, the guy I was working with, I go, hey, let's go. And he goes, it's not ours. It's not our call. I just get on the air to a sergeant. I go, hey, permission to go to the active shooter. And he's like, yeah. So we hop out, we go, we speed there, and we run in, and there's a guy, like an officer in charge of the scene. And he goes, we need people inside. They didn't know the shooter was dead yet. Like, they were still they had to search this whole building to see if there's anyone else in there. So he goes, all right, we need people inside. And I go, cool, just run in. Don't even think about it. Well, on the way to that call, I'm processing, like, I text my wife's fiance at the time, her mom. And I was like, tell Savannah I'm going to be good. Like, if you see it on the news, I'm going to this call. I'll text her when I'm good. But in my head, like, I had this, like, conversation. I'm not super religious. I battle with where I fit with religion, but, like, I had this conversation with God of, like, okay, this is my last call. And I was like, if this is where it ends, I'm good. Like, I just made, it's a weird feeling that, like, I made peace with the fact that, like, all right, I'm not going to go home after this. Like, it's fucking weird. Like, and then, you know, and everything, I end up being okay, and it ends up being a shitty traumatic call and all that kind of stuff. But like that process of like, this could be it. I might not see my family ever again. It's weird. So it's stuff like that like the public, when it comes to like public perception of policing, like they don't think about those things where they're like, oh, why is this cop, he used excessive force? Yeah, it's not good. But like, you don't know what they've gone through. Like, you don't know all these other things that they have to see on a daily basis and they have to process. Like, you don't know what they went to before that call. Like, I don't even remember what call I went to after that, but man, if I had to go to another call after after that one, I don't know what I was thinking after just accepting that I was going to die.
Yeah, especially if you go into like a different call, just like a grandma needing help or something, and you got to just accept that you almost died, or you were accepting that, and now you got to just go help her because she can't do something, you know?
Yeah.
I could just be able to completely be a completely different person.
Yeah. And it's not this like, I know people have like, and I talked to a friend of mine after, and she's like, no, you have to have the mentality that you're going to make it home. And I'm like, it's not that I gave up, but it's like, I looked at it and I was like, I have a job to do. My job is to protect the public. My job is to run into this situation. It's not to run away from it. And if that leads me to being killed, then that is why I'm here. Like that is what I'm here to do. Like, I have to protect, I have to help people who can't help themselves. And if that means it's the last thing I do, I mean, I would, and if there was an active shooter at a school down the street and I was walking by, I would probably do the same thing today. It's just like, if that's what you're called to do, then
yeah, you're there to serve others and protect, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you have a badge on or not. It seems like for you, it's just what you're in your heart to do.
Yeah, and that's one of the was talking about like religion and stuff, was like Isaiah 6:8 always sticks in my head.
Yeah, here I am, send me.
Yeah, and the first time I heard that, it just kind of like, I think that kind of helped me process a lot of those calls where it was just like, okay, this is why I'm here. That ended up helping me with the idea of not going back to law enforcement anymore. Was like, I had a real hard time with it. I don't get to go back. You know, this was my career. I love this, you know, all that. Why me? And then I sit back and I looked at everything and I was like, okay, I had this crazy call. I had this crazy call. I had all these different things. I got to train and do these really cool trainings and, learn all these really cool skills and all these things. And I was like, what was the purpose? I go, oh, the purpose was for that one call in January of 21 where we saved 5 people's lives. Like the whole purpose was to prepare me for that. And after that, like it was like God, fate, whatever someone wants to call, is like, that's what you were put here to do. And then you fulfilled your purpose. And so I was like, when that hit me, I was like, okay, cool. I'm good. Like, I did everything to put me in the position for that call to make the right decision when I had to do it. I did that and I'm good. Like,
yeah,
I'm good with this decision. Like, I can move on.
Yeah. Yeah. God never wastes a hurt. That's one of the biggest things that helped me. Just you're going through something, you can't figure out why it's for you. Like, man, he's just training me for something coming up, but I just can't see it yet.
Yeah.
Life will make sense in reverse, but it won't make sense going forward. So
yeah,
I just accept that now, and it doesn't make it easier all the time, but having that faith and just knowing like it's worked out. It's for a reason. God never wastes a hurt. Trudge forward, you know?
Yeah. I looked at it with some of that stuff, was like, it's kind of corny, but there's a rapper, and at the end of one of the songs, I'm trying to remember his name. It's like some underground rapper, was like, if you couldn't handle it, God wouldn't. If you couldn't handle it, it wouldn't be put on you.
Yeah.
And so like I've always kind of taken that as like, I'm handling this burden because I know that I can carry it, and that way someone else doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And like you said, you can't always you don't always know what that means. Like, you don't always know where you're going with it. And the process with the gym, like I said, took us 4 years, and there was half a dozen times where dealing with shitty business people and corrupt people and people who want to see you fail and going out of your way to make it so you can't succeed, and where you just want to give up and quit. And I'm like, no, this is just part of the process.
At what point did you switch it from stocking shelves in Home Depot to realizing you had a new purpose?
Having that conversation with my wife, about like, nah, you can't just do that. And then realizing there was a need for like a facility, a gym that like we've put together. Like, we truly believe there was a need, that we saw a lot of things that were done in some of the places that we just didn't agree with, and thought there was a better way to do it.
And were you still thinking about all this while you were in California?
No, we were here at the time.
Okay, so did you move here between the time you were trying to go through the medical retirement then?
In the middle of all my, so in the middle of going through my, like, yeah, I left in 21, and then we moved out here in 22. So like in the middle of all of this was moving out of state, moving away from family, finding a new home, trying to build a new life. And it was the best thing we could have ever done. Like, I have zero regrets. I wish we did it sooner. But yeah, going through that, I got really lucky. I got another opportunity to live out my dream with pro wrestling. Like I said, as soon as I retired, a friend of mine, I was retired in May. A friend of mine called me and was like, "Hey, we're the company that I work with and help out now." He's like, they do a Wednesday TV show. He goes, "We're doing a Saturday show and we need more people. Can you work weekends?" I was like, "Dude, I can only work weekends." So I got an opportunity to do that in the meantime,
and got back in the ring then?
Nope. Just on security team standpoint,
okay.
But like, okay. I've traveled to all over the United States, Canada, Mexico City, Scotland, London, Wales.
You ever got to meet like a really like high A-class wrestler that everybody would know?
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite?
Oh man. So one of my favorites that I work with, I see all the time, Tony Schiavone. Not wrestler, but if you watched like WCW back in the day, he's been the voice of wrestling for 40 something years.
Oh, okay.
This a couple weeks ago, Mick Foley. I texted my buddy. It was like I knew Mick Foley was going to be here, but like walking in the back and being like, "Oh, hey Mick," was like, "Fuck, this is crazy." And then like I turned the corner and it's like Mick Foley talking to Jim Ross, like good old JR, and I'm like, this is wild. Sting's retirement match. I was 5 feet away. It's just right at the ring for Sting's retirement.
Were you doing security for that?
Mm,
nice.
Yeah. So it's like I've gotten to like get to know people and meet people. The team we work with is, it sounds hyperbole, but like next level. The guys we work with are just, it's an awesome group of guys that travel 52 weeks a year. Like, I don't do it as much. I only do like once a month now. Like, I scale back because of the gym, but like getting to live out the dream of giving back to that industry that I've loved for 30 something years.
That's cool.
In some small way. And my buddy one day goes, "Dude," he goes, "It just hit me." He's like, "There's now moments in wrestling history, like these new moments are part of wrestling history." And he goes, "You were there, like you were part of that history." And I'm like, that's weird.
That's cool though, because you have such a passion and a love for the sport, and now you're a part of these big monumental moments.
Yeah. So that helped me get through it and kind of transition. Like, I got to go back to living out a dream again. Like, and I wasn't in the ring, and I'll probably never wrestle again. But just getting to be part of in some small way. And then, like I said, it was, how can I give back to the community? Like, I didn't grow up here. Like I wasn't born here. I haven't lived here I've only been here a couple years, but like, how can we help the community here? How can I help the veteran first responder community? I can't do it the way I used to or the way I want to, but I can give back with this facility. Like we can give back and we can help people achieve their goals, lose weight, become more functional, become a better person, get through whatever shit they're going through. We can help provide them a place to do that. And I can have some small hand in doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool that you have such a passion for the law enforcement. I mean, there's a lot of people that, you know, they say they'll offer like a discount something in like small writing, but like you're out in public, you're like, that's your main priority is like the military, law enforcement. Like you love that community so much, and that's your forefront. And that's really what I think would set you apart from a lot of the gyms around here. I mean, not anything bad against the other gyms, but you know, if that's something that you're really passionate about, that's amazing.
Yeah. So like we do a discount, but like we have special hours for our veterans and first responders. They have 24-hour access. We've had some people wish and ask if we would give all members 24-hour access. And I said, it's never going to happen. Like I remember waking up, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can't sleep and anxiety and shit going on. And the gym was a space I could go to, but I didn't always want to be around people. Like now we can create even just that little 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. time frame of like guys wake up in the middle of the night, girls wake up in the middle of the night, they can't sleep, mind's racing, they got a place to go. Like we had a couple guys in the other day just to walk through and was like, dude, if you got to write reports, come and write a report. You need to use the bathroom, come use the bathroom. Like if you need to come in the middle of the night because you can't sleep, like come in and work out. You got a space to, come work out. And if there's somebody else in there in that time, they're probably going through the same shit you are. So for us, it's a way of building another community of like, maybe they don't want to talk about their feelings, but they see each other in the gym all the time. And so maybe they start making that connection and building that connection. And I also try to, with our members that I know are veterans or first responders, is like all the members matter, but those members we try to talk to a little bit more. Like I just try to feel out those people, and I'm open and sharing, my story. So it's like if I see someone come in, I can read them. If they need someone to talk to, then we're there to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that this will come out during Mental Health Month too. So
yeah,
I think that's such a big thing with the law enforcement community and the military. You see a lot of the suicide prevention, and I think a lot of men and law enforcement in general, but they usually end up dying within a couple of years of retirement because they lose that purpose.
Yep.
And so for you to give them a spot that they can put a purpose into building their body or just having an outlet, like that's amazing.
Yeah, and I appreciate someone like you giving me this platform, because like we were talking to some guys who they shoot stuff for us and like content, and they were like, yeah, we don't want to market your story or use it as like it's not a marketing ploy, but I want to use these platforms to push my story. And it's not to grow me or my business. It's not an ego thing, but I've had friends that I made in the department have called me going through their stuff who almost killed themselves. And one of them was like, I had my, I'm checking in. How you doing? What's going on? I'm helping him through the process of doing all the paperwork and figuring it out. And he's like, I had my gun in my mouth and I was about to pull the trigger and my wife called. And I'm like, fuck. Like, that shit's heavy. Like, I never got to that point. But I'm like, now I have this, I went through my stuff. I'm like, it's kind of my purpose now to share it, to get it out there, to like help those people realize that that's not the answer. Like, there's another way out of it. Like, even if it's just fucking talking to somebody, like, you want to grab a beer? Cool. You don't drink beer? Cool. Like, you want to grab a taco or a burger? Like, or you want to come work out? Then let's just come work out. We don't even have to talk about anything. But like, there's ways through it. there's other options besides that. So it's using these platforms, using our social media, using the gym to like be vulnerable and put my stuff out there, because if I've gone through it, somebody else has gone through it too, or they're going through it now, and they don't think there's a way out of it, but they need to see people who've done it and survived it and gone through it to know that there is a way out of it.
Yeah. What's the best way you think for current law enforcement to be checking their mental health before it's too late?
Dude, I've done a couple podcasts on PTSD stuff. I did one on like helping people prepare for the academy. And my number one, I tell people, if you're thinking about law enforcement, get a therapist. If you don't need it, I don't care. Get a therapist, go once a month, build that relationship. The biggest part of that for me is like, talk to them now, because you won't see the change in you, but they will see the change. You start talking to them just about normal life problems, who you are, what you go through, what life is like. Then you start your career in law enforcement, and now you're adding the traumatic calls, the deaths, the suicides, trying not to shoot somebody, like all those different things. And you're going to continue to talk to them, and they're going to see the change, and they're going to be able to recommend tools, changes, medication, if that helps people. I'm not a big fan of medication. But they're going to be able to recommend things to help you. Like, I wish I had that before. If I knew this before, I probably would still be working now. It was never pushed before. Like, mental health was never talked about.
Yeah, what about like the guys that think that it's just weak to talk about your feelings? I mean, I think that was a big one for me. Like, I just pushed that under the rug for years. I went through a bunch of child abuse as a kid, and I just never talked about it, and I felt like it was done. Like, what good is it going to talk about it? I can't do anything again. Or like when you went through your thing with the old man, like somebody might think like, oh, well, I can't bring, why would I talk about it? Like, what's the best way for someone to, do that then? If it's something that happened in the past, they can't change it, but
it's hard, because it's like you can't change any of that, but you can recognize or learn. Like I said, I didn't know how a lot of these things affected me until I started going back, and I could see markers of how I changed as a person after this call, after that call, and how it affected me, how, you start, like, there's times I'll be driving and I'll hear a song come on that I listen to, like a Hinder song. There's nothing special about it. And I'll just start crying listening to this song. Like watching a Disney movie with my daughter. It's not even a sad part of the movie. You just start getting emotional. Like, that's all trauma. Like, that's all stuff and I can find markers of when those things started to progress and started to change. So like, you can't change it, but you can recognize. And for the big thing for my wife and I is we don't want to continue, trauma she's gone through, trauma I've gone through as childhood or careers. Like, we don't want to continue that trend with our daughter of going through shitty family relationships. And, like, we want to end that. So it's being able to recognize these things, and you can't change it, but you can change it moving forward. You can mitigate some of the things you do because of it. It sucks that it's some people unfortunately you just can't break that stigma of, no, you can't talk about it. It's not manly to talk about it. It's like, you can't help everybody. Like,
I think that's where the gym or something like that that's active comes into play, because maybe not everybody feels comfortable like we're doing right now, talking face to face, but I think shoulder to shoulder, doing something actively might be a little bit easier for someone to talk about, like, hey man, I'm just going through some shit right now,
100%.
But like while you're digging a trench with someone, or just something that's like you're doing something actively, like I've started doing community hikes on Saturdays just to see whoever wants to go. But if that's an outlet for somebody that just needs some community, I think that's the biggest thing for men is just community.
Yeah.
And like, when you're alone, that's the devil's playground. That's when your depression comes in. That's when you start you're only alone with your thoughts. You start really playing things over in your head and thinking like I could have done something different, or maybe I should have told someone, or
Right.
And then the big one is like a lot of people turn to alcohol.
Yep.
And then that just is a downward spiral.
Yeah, and I'm not one of these people that's like, don't drink. Drinking alcohol is bad. I have a lot of alcoholism in my family. I've always had a rule, and I somehow maintain this as a cop, was if I had a bad day and I ever found myself saying I need to go home and have a drink, I would actively not touch alcohol. And I have a whiskey bar at home. Like I love having a glass of whiskey, just sit down. Me and my wife will just sit on the couch on the patio and have a glass and enjoy it. But I've always actively made it so it wasn't a crutch. And it's never, I'm in a shitty bad mood, I just need to have a glass. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think you have to know your limits too. Like I know for me, I couldn't control it. Like if I could have a 6-pack last in my fridge for a month.
Yeah.
But as soon as I cracked that first one,
it's all gone. Yeah. Yeah. And for men, it's finding a purpose.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like you're saying, like, man, even if it's just at the gym, I work out with a buddy of mine all the time, and he's a retired cop, and it's half the time we're just sitting there bitching about something, or like something's bothering me, something's bothering him, like just life stuff. And it's just talking about maybe he's got something going on with his family. I got something going on that's bothering me. And we're just therapy session while we're lifting and doing and then it's, all right, sit down. Don't be a pussy. Push that bench. And then, okay. And then this is going on. And how do we do that? So yeah, those things are hugely important.
I think surrounding yourself with other men that are going to push you to do the right things and the hard things and the things that are going to grow you, and being around other men that are growth mindset and not just like, yeah, dude, let's waste away our whole lives just drinking at a bar or watching TV, or let's go do something, like let's go lift some weights. Let's go build a business. Let's talk about growth. Let's talk about how we can be better men, whether it's, whatever it is, but like just surrounding yourself with like-minded people that want more out of you.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I think is the biggest part. Obviously you could surround yourself with the wrong people and that's going to be worse.
Yeah.
But to surround yourself with people that are going to call you out on your bullshit, or not just allow you to be
100%,
be normal or just mediocre, want more out of you.
People get offended by that. And it's like, me and my partner always used to, we'd finish a call, we'd get in the car, and him and I would debrief every call on our own. And it would be, here's what happened, here's what went good. And I could say to him, hey, you did X, Y, and Z. That didn't work for me. Like, maybe we can do it this way. And we had no problem. We never fought. I want him to tell me, hey, we did this. Try doing it this way next time. Like, he sees something I didn't see. I might see something he didn't see. But like, I want to be a better person. He's basically my brother. He's my family. Like, if you can't tell family, hey, don't fuck up. You need to get your shit together. Like, that's what they're there for. And if they're not telling you, then they don't care.
Right.
So you need those people to keep you in check.
Yeah, 100%. That's the best friend. The friends that won't tell you when you're messing up like that. You don't want those kind of people around you.
No.
You want the ones that are around you, like they see you winning and they're excited for you to win.
Yeah, they help you. They celebrate your wins, but they also go, man, this ain't it.
Right.
You got to fix that. That's not happening.
Love that.
Yeah.
So what was it like building this building, the gym?
It was wild. It was, like I said, I could talk for hours about the process going in, but once we finally, like you were talking about, like ordering the equipment, dude, we ordered.
Well, first you had to find a location, right? Did you already have an idea of where you wanted to be?
Yes, and I will just say the powers that be did not want us to be in that area.
Oh, really?
So we got pushed out. We started the process in August of 22, and we opened doors in April of 26.
Yeah.
So December of 22, we put in our order with Arsenal Strength, and we paid a 50% deposit on our big ass order and sat on that for years, trying to get our location, trying to get all that situated. we finally, one thing we've learned through our process is we won't compromise who we are, my wife and I. I won't compromise my values for success or what other people see as success. So there's things we do with the gym, and there's things that we are going to be doing that are going to ruffle feathers and that are going to step on toes, and not intentionally. There's things that are done in the gym industry because that's how you do it. It's not the way it should be done. So we're going to do it different because that's for our business. That's how we want to do it.
What are those, like, if you can, like any?
I don't want to talk about this stuff yet, but there was stuff as a cop where people were like, "Well, that's just how it is." Well, that's not how it should be. I don't care if that's how it's done.
I hated that mentality. Yeah, that's how it's been done for years.
Yeah,
like, okay,
that doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
So there's things we see, and it's like, well, that's how it's done. No one does it this way because it's done like this.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's done like this. This is how I think it's better and should be done, and this is how I'm going to do it. It's not to rag on anybody else, but
got to blaze some trails.
We're doing things the way we want to do it, and taking care of the community the way we think we should do it. And it's not to hurt anybody. It's not to step on any toes. It's not to intentionally. It's not out of spite for somebody else. But our business is our business, and that's what we want to take care of, and we're going to take care of people the best way we see fit. And so when it came to selecting where we were going to be, like selecting equipment and all that, like we won't compromise quality. We weren't going to just settle for, we had a business consultant that goes, "Why don't you start with a smaller building?" And I was like, because people complain that the gyms are too packed. I'm not willing to sacrifice and just move into a place just to open a gym. Like, I don't have a gym. We didn't want to open a gym just to make money and say we owned a gym. Like, we want to build a community and a purpose around that business. So it has to be done a certain way. And after going through all the shit we did with bad developers and landlords and all that, we ended up buying the property we have. And how we did it, I have no clue. We had a meeting one day with a financial consultant. He's like, "Why don't you guys just buy a building?" And I was like, I mean, that's the goal, to eventually own our own property, but like, that doesn't make any sense. Who's going to give us all of this money to go buy a commercial property? And then you just go through the process. And again, it's just like, every day we did something new to like, okay, well, maybe we just buy a property instead. Well, how do we do that? All right, well, let's just start going through, learn about these different loans and how to propose this and put these things together and how to build this whole thing. And December 2nd, we ended up closing escrow on a 1 acre commercial property with, our main building's 10,000 square feet, and we have 2 other buildings on the property that we own.
That's sweet.
And that was December 2nd. December 3rd, first thing in the morning, we go in and we start doing demo and tearing walls out. Like, it was like, okay, now we own this thing. We're making payments on this. Let's get this shit done.
Yeah.
And we did that 6-7 days a week, 12, 15, 16-hour days.
Yeah. It was really cool to watch the updates. You guys getting the pallets coming in of different equipment and showing the new equipment that you got, unwrapping them. That was cool. It
sucked because we really wanted to do pre-sale memberships and stuff months ahead of time. And we really I was dying to show people the equipment, because a lot of it's stuff that's not out here that people don't have access to. And again, that's not a knock on anybody. It's just, we had a vision of what we wanted to do, and we were very intentional about every single thing we purchased and every piece of equipment. And we were so excited to show people, but we got burned so many times. It was like, we don't want to just put the stuff out there too soon. So we have to try to time it out so we don't shoot ourselves in the foot and give up the goose and so it sucked. It was hard because it's like, we just wanted to give it to the world and hey, Treasure Valley, come here. We have this stuff. We have all these things that you can use, but we had to sit on it.
So do you have a storage unit for years with all your stuff, or they just keep it at Arsenal strength?
Arsenal kept all their stuff until we were ready, but dude, we had three storage units in our RV garage, just filled with equipment. And then we got the Arsenal stuff. We had one of the buildings on our property we turned into storage, and we brought everything and stored it there. And then, getting the Arsenal stuff was like, I think I broke down in tears that day
when it arrived.
Yeah, because I was like,
it's real now.
It's real, but it was like the whole gym process literally started like I don't think people think it's serious when I say if you want to do something, you just do it. It literally started with, hey, we need a better gym in this area. Like we need something. We basically wanted to build the gym that we want to work out in is the goal, and saw a building of a new site of a new commercial property and was like, oh, that could work. I wonder how much that would cost to lease. And then kind of got an idea and then was like, well, I wonder what equipment would cost to put in that building. And so it was literally a phone call to Arsenal of like, hey, can I just get a quote? This is the size of the building. I just kind of want to see. And that's literally, and then every single day it was just like obsessing with the idea, the thought, and that conversation of like, oh, I'm just curious to see what equipment costs turned into, yeah, we got to get this shit done. Turned into business plans and buying more equipment and financial projections and meetings with banks. And next thing you know, we're like, oh shit, we're buying a property.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So how'd you come up with a name?
So we started Nine Realms Athletics during COVID.
That was your garage gym, you said, right?
Yeah, we had our garage gym, and we had a deadlift platform in our garage gym. And I'm terrible when it comes to the gym as far as like diversifying my stuff. It's like I'm going to lift heavy. That's what I'm going to do. But I was like, I know I need to do mobility. I need to do recovery stuff. I need to stretch. I need to do yoga. Like I need to do these different things. So I was like, I need something to remind myself that I need to just I need to do stuff other than just lift heavy. Big fan of Thor. I'm also Swedish and Eastern European and all that. So like somehow, I don't even remember how it came up. I was just sitting there thinking of like, oh, there's the 9 realms in Norse mythology. We were watching Thor, but like 9 realms of Norse mythology. And then I was like, like, oh shit, there's like 9 realms of fitness. And I was like, okay, so we'll just come up with this idea. And the original logo we have on the old platform we have on the wall says 9 Realms Athletics, and then it says Until Valhalla. And I was like, I reached out to a buddy, and he knew someone who does graphic design. So I was like, I'm just kind of thinking this. And he sends over this image. I was like, fuck, that's cool. Like, let's do that. He goes, yeah, I have a guy. He can do a big sticker. So we did a big vinyl sticker, put it on the platform, and it was just for our garage gym. And then I started I was posting videos of like deadlifts and working out because it's during COVID, and I kept getting buddies who were like, dude, what is that? Put that on a shirt. I'll buy it. Like, and it was just kept happening. And then all of a sudden my wife and I one day were like, why don't we just start doing clothes? Like we have this thing, like people want to buy it. Like maybe we'll just see. So it was 9 realms. It was just 9 realms. And then we changed it to 9 Realms Athletics, and then, came up with some other designs, ordered clothing, and we did all the folding, the inventory, we did all the shipping, we did all that stuff. And then, I got hurt, pulled myself out of work. The department wouldn't let me run my own business. So we just had to let it die. They consider it secondary employment, and you can't do that while you're on workers' comp. So it just sat there and stopped doing it, and just kind of slowly fizzled out. Then we're out here, and we're like, well, now I'm not going back. Let's relaunch the clothes. And I was like, well, we know we want to do a gym. We'll just wait until we open the gym, and we'll relaunch it, the clothes under that. We almost changed the name because it doesn't have fitness or gym, or that's your typical, right? Like all the gyms have fitness or gym or something in it. And was like, I don't want to give that up. Like we've built something that means something to us. So let's just keep it. And branding is going to be difficult, and name recognition is going to be difficult because people aren't going to know what it is right away. But after a while, people will learn what it is, and then they'll just know. And so we said, you know what, let's just keep it and just roll with it.
That's cool. How do you describe your gym like to someone that's never heard of it? Like, who's it for?
So we have one of the taglines we use is built for athletes, functional for everyone. Coming from powerlifting, we wanted to create a gym where powerlifters, strength training, powerlifters specifically, had a place in Canyon County to lift and train with all the tools that they should. And a lot of gyms didn't have those tools. So we wanted to have that. But it's a very niche group. So we wanted the equipment to be able to train for whatever you were doing. So it's the best compliment we have gotten from people who come in, they go, this feels like a gym. And I'm just living in the past of like the Arnold days, and I grew up old bodybuilding gyms in like the 80s and 90s. And to me, that's like peak gym. Like, again, no knock on any other places, but I don't need crazy lights and like these high-tech aesthetics. Like that's just it's not my style. Like, I just want that. Like, you come in, you put in work, you sweat, you make noise, like you do your work, you change your body, and then you go home. Yeah. Like, it's a place for people who want to work. And I don't care what that is, whether it's, you've seen we do like the group workout days, and we had a deadlift day, and I think we had like 14, 15 people. We had a kid that was, I think he's like 11, 12 with his mom deadlifting like 25s. And we had to do deadlifting 750 pounds, and we're all lifting together. We don't care if it's a lot of weight, if it's a little weight, as long as you're pushing yourself and you're trying to improve, and you know, we're there to support that. You don't have to be a bro. You don't have to be a big bodybuilder or power lifter. Like, doesn't matter what your goal is. We got you. Yeah. Like, we got the stuff for you. Yeah. It's just higher end, I guess. Higher end equipment is the kind of the best way of Arsenal's expensive stuff. And it's heavy. It's intimidating to some people. It's a lot of plate loaded. We got 16,000 pounds of plates. Like, but again, even that was using plate loaded as opposed to cable was very intentional for like a mental aspect of weight training.
Yeah, there's definitely something different loading and slamming the plates together rather than like, you know.
It's the noise, because that's like nostalgic for me, but the mental aspect of like, because you have clients, right? And it's like a lot of people think that your body changes quick. It's not that's where there's such a drop off after like the New Year's resolution people. Like, they don't see the change in 2 months, so they give up. That process doesn't happen. Doesn't happen in months, in 1-2 months. It happens over time. So for me, the plate loaded is a tool, and anyone can change the pin on a selectorized, right? And you see the number 20, 40, 60, whatever, and that's cool. But say you're doing bench and you start with 25s on the bar, and then you're in there you made yourself go in for 6 months, and you're hustling, and then one day you're loading that bar and you're throwing 185 on the bar, and you're like, this sucks. Now I got to go put this shit away. Well, now you can stop. You can flip back to when you first came in and you had 25s on there. Now you have to load a 45 and a 25 because you came in and did the work. So, you know, you started the leg press with 100 pounds. Now you got 400 pounds on it. Yeah, it sucks taking it off, but you have to put that on because you did the work to make that change. So it's just a tool of like switching that mentality of like, maybe you don't see the growth because you look at yourself in the mirror every day, but that's the testament to it right there. That's the change. So it was very intentional with plate loaded versus cable machines.
Yeah, I like that mindset. I've never really thought of it like that, but that makes total sense. It's yeah, actually I like that. I always tell my clients too, when it's like they want the instant results. It's kind of like imagine that your weight loss is kind of like a roll of toilet paper, and you take like one piece of paper off, you're not gonna see any results. 1, 2, like 10, you're not really gonna see anything. But like you take 30, 40 pieces, 50, 60, like it's gonna get thinner, or if the vice versa would be for bodybuilders, like you keep adding one sheet at a time. Eventually it's gonna get thicker and thicker, but it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
For weight loss clients, it's like that instant gratification is what got you here, of like wanting that instant dopamine hit of that food or whatever. So now we just need to switch that up, and I love that the plate versus the pin. I like that.
And it's more versatile, right? We got 1.25 pound plates to 100-pound plates. So like you go anywhere in between. We use the InBody as that same tool. Is like you see yourself every day. Okay, come in, do your InBody when you start. You see yourself every single day. You don't see the change. Maybe you step on a scale and you've been in for 2 or 3 months and you're like, I'm not losing weight. Because I know, you start weight training, you start lifting, your body composition is changing. You're adding muscle, you're losing fat. The scale's not changing. The scale might not change. That's what people look at. They look at a scale. And well, the number's not changing or my weight's gone up. Well, now you step on the InBody. And it's not 100% accurate, but it's just a tool. You step on it and you do that test and you go, oh shit, I've grown lean muscle mass and I've lost body fat. The weight hasn't changed, but the composition has changed. So your body is changing. It's just a mindset tool. It's not a be all end all, but the work is happening. Like it's paying off. You just don't see it because you see yourself every single day. And we're hard on ourselves. So we like to use those things as just markers and tools to reinforce. Like we have a weird mindset. It's like we want you to be there every day. We don't just want your money and you just don't show up. We want to see those same people there every day. Like I want to see people make that change. Like I love that shit. Like I'm all for it. I'm all about it.
Yeah, you want to build a culture. You don't want to build a Planet Fitness.
No. Yeah.
That's how Planet Fitness gets their model in, like $10 a month. It's people who don't care about it at the point, forget about it. Here's your pizza and your Tootsie Rolls at the front door. And,
yeah.
You're not building a culture.
Yeah.
That's what the biggest thing I think with a successful gym, because gyms have one of the highest fail rates there is, but those are usually the ones that don't have a culture, and they're just there to get those subscriptions. You know?
And it's hard because it's like I had a conversation with a guy yesterday. And I'm like, some people might not think it's genuine, but this is who we are. Like my wife has a fun, I won't tell her story, but she has a client that had a client years ago that she started in our garage gym, and she couldn't even step foot in a commercial gym. And once she got her comfortable lifting and exercising in our garage, her first assignment was to sit in the parking lot at the gym. She didn't even go in. She just sat in her car in the parking lot for 15 minutes. And then it was, okay, just walk inside. And she would walk inside, and then she'd have to leave. And then she got to progress to just walking on the treadmill for 5 minutes. And then next thing we know, it's a couple months in and she's deadlifting 185 pounds in a strongman gym.
Yeah.
And it's like she helped her create that.
It's her own form of progressive overload.
Right. Yeah. Like, so we talked to her one time on a podcast we did, and she was like, yeah, I was, deadlifting 185. She goes, it's not 500 like you. And I'm like, no. Like weight doesn't matter. Like heavy weight, it's all subjective. It's all like, none of it matters.
Right.
What's heavy for you is what's important. Like you progressing is what's important. Like, yeah, I might deadlift 600 pounds, and someone who works out with us might deadlift 135 pounds. I'm not any better than you.
Yeah.
Like I've just trained longer and been in this process longer, and that's where I'm at. Yeah. You're where you're at. You're not worse.
Right.
Like you're just in your process growing, and that's what we want to see. Is we want to see you improve and move forward. I don't care what your goal is. We just want to see you get to that, and it looks different for everybody.
Yeah. Like for me, my biggest role model in the gym that I go to is not the guy that's, putting up 120 dumbbells for reps or whatever he's putting up. It's just, there's this like, I don't know, he's probably like 75, 80 years old, and he's just in there and he's doing body weight pull-ups, like, and he's just in there every day with his wife. And I think it's his son probably too, like in his 40s or something, but like he's still pushing it. And that's how I want to be when I get older. Like, I don't really care about like being like the biggest deadlifter or the biggest lifter, but like longevity, if I'm in my 80s and I'm still just going to the gym and keeping my body active,
Yeah.
like that's winning right there.
100%. Yeah. So that's our biggest thing is just seeing that.
Yeah.
Like it's
that's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
It's hard. People see it as like a powerlifting gym or, you know, bodybuilders, and they're intimidated by it. And we just want to break that stigma. It's like,
yeah,
the biggest, baddest, we got a guy in who was doing, I think he had 900 pounds on a hack squat. Like, it was ridiculous. And the like 14-year-old kid just came up to him and was like, basically commented, man, it's impressive. Like, I really love what you're doing. And that dude stopped what he was doing, introduced himself to the kid. Thank you so much. He's like, I've watched you in here working out, and, you know, it's inspiring watching you. And it's like, that's what most of those people are like.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to see this big, strong dude and just like think they're an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll help you same as we'll help anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing I hear from my clients too. I mean, like, weight loss is they're like, I just feel so intimidated in the gym. Like, honestly, most people are in their own world.
Yeah.
And if they see a big fat person in there, they're going to be so inspired that you actually got off the couch and that you're making a difference in your own life.
Yeah.
Like, they're thinking the completely opposite different than what you're thinking. They're like, this person's actually doing something with their life and like taking action, not just saying like, oh, poor me, hand me that Ozempic, you know?
That person, that weight loss person, is probably inspiring that person to work harder. Yeah. They're like, fuck, they can do it. I don't have an excuse.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Oh, I'm tired today. Oh, like, I don't have enough calories. Shut up. Get in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, they're here every day too.
It's so much harder for that person that's overweight to get in the gym than the other person. So yeah, it would be more inspiring for that big dude. Yeah.
And I watch people like that all the time. I'm like, man, it's cool seeing them in here. Like, they haven't been in the gym for 30 years. Now they're back. Yeah. And they're in here every single day. Like, hell yeah.
Like, yeah. People need to just start looking into the winning as like the longevity side of it and putting out their goals, you know, not like, I don't want a 6-pack in 6 minutes, you know?
Yep.
It's like, no, let's just give this like 100 workouts and then let's redetermine. But like, just push your goals out. That's the biggest thing I would tell anybody, whether it's building muscle or if it's losing fat, like, push your timeline out and just keep it going.
Yeah. I think my wife's biggest thing is to enjoy the process. Like, enjoy the journey. Don't just, you have a destination, but like, and it's cliche, but like, the destination isn't the destination. Like, it's the journey. What gets you there is the whole thing. Like, enjoy it. Like, all the small wins, have fun with it. If you fall off, fuck it.
Yeah.
It's progress isn't linear. Like, it's not always, doesn't look the same for everybody. Like, just enjoy it.
Yeah. Cause we've always reached goals that we said that once we reach them, we would be happy with. And then that's not it. I have a vision board still up in my closet from 2024 and I had a 15% on there. And I was like, if I can reach to 15% body fat, I'm good. And I'm at 12 right now. I'm like, wonder what 10 feels like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, you're never going to be happy with what you think it is. So just do not, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't even set goals anymore. Like, I shouldn't say that, like, but it's just like the New Year's resolutions or anything like that. Yeah. It's like, I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. There's so many crazy variables in life, but I'm just going to control what I can. Yeah. And I'm just going to keep pushing. Yeah. That's just all I can do. I mean, the biggest thing I think for anybody when they say like they don't have motivation is your motivation can't be internal. Your motivation has to be like an external force. Because there's going to be, I go to gym like 5 days a week, and there's probably at least 4 of them I don't want to go. Right. Yeah. I'm not feeling, I got other stuff to do. I got editing. I got, business stuff, my clients, whatever. But like, I know my kids are watching me. 100%. And if I quit on my goals and they're watching me, or I'm not showing up my best version for them, and I'm taking out my frustrations now on my wife and my kids because I'm slacking and I know that it's because of me, but I don't want to take that self-recognition, and so I'm gonna take it out on them. Like, that's what I do this for, is like other people. Yeah. Because it's so much easier to let yourself down than it is to let your wife or your kids down. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for that person that's out there looking to like get some motivation, my advice would just be, don't have it be internal. Especially people with kids. Yeah. You want them to be better than you. So you need to set that standard of, like, you got girls? I got 3 girls and a boy, yeah. I got a daughter, and it's my wife's thing is, like, she sends me shit all the time. She's like, we want to set the standard for her
for boys and men to be so high that nobody meets that standard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want, like, I want to set that standard of like, so she's not coming home with some dude who's, you know, rap sheet at 15, you know, just some slap dick, not going to school. Like,
right.
This is Joey. Sorry if your name's Joey. I don't just pulled that on my ass.
Yeah.
But like, we want that standard to be so high that she's like, no, this is what my dad did.
Right.
Like, she said to my wife just recently that she wanted to be like my wife when she gets older. And it's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, even at 5, she's like, I want to be like you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's your parenting, right? That's what you do it for. Like,
yeah.
they need to be your motivator of like building that routine, going every day. Yeah, this sucks, but I'm going to show up anyway.
Exactly.
I don't want to go to the gym today, but guess what? I'm going to do it. And she hates it sometimes. Do we have to go to the gym today? Yes.
Yeah.
We're going.
Right. And I think it's good to tell your kids too that you don't want to go to the gym, but you're still going.
Yeah.
Because in those times where they're like, I don't want to go to soccer practice, and you're like, yeah, remember those times where I told you I didn't want to go to the gym?
Yeah.
I still went.
Yeah.
Those are the moments that you can build on. You just need to be. I'm open with my kids, like, I'm not really feeling like going to the gym, but lacing these bitches up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So, dude, where's a good spot for people to follow along and, you know, hear your story or just get in touch with you?
Instagram's the best. 9 Realms Athletics or 9realmsathletics.com. Give us a follow. My wife and I both run the page, but it's usually me. Reach out. I tell this to everybody when I've done these, and I still get messages on there from, honestly, dude, people around the world. Is if you're a cop, if you're going through shit, if you hear this and you need someone to talk to, reach out. We both answer it, but like, you can say, hey, this is for Sean, and I'll read it and I'll talk to you. I had a short story. I had a guy hear one of my podcasts on battling PTSD and law enforcement. He's in Denmark, and he's a cop in Denmark, and he reached out to me because he's like, your story is what I'm going through right now. And I've talked to him a couple times over the last few months of like just shit going on with him. Probably never meet the guy in my life, but like, it's powerful.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it's us running it. Like, if people need something, they want to reach out, they have questions, we'll answer it.
Yeah. That's the amazing side of social media. You never know who you're going to hit.
Yeah.
Remember when I did my podcast with Bam, and I had like people randomly, like 3 or 4 different people from the United States, and they're like, man, I thought I was alone. I thought that nobody else went through something like this. Yeah. I was such an oddball. But like, thank you for sharing your story. So it's cool that you came on here, shared your story, man. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much.
And you know, if you can help one other person, it's all worth it. So
yep,
that's what I always think.
Yep.
So, all right, dude. Well, I'm looking forward to heading over to your gym sometime and checking it out. Hopefully
Anytime.
After this prep, so I can actually be carved up and
hell yeah, let's do it.
Put in a good lift. So,
awesome, man. Yeah, let's
right.
do it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.